Asibadia Balo.
Nko. Natala Kotege, today is Sunday. Wow. Later demanding. Ali Mbala. Wala nankali yoko. Ali follow. Ali like Nima. It's a need not a life dorum. Boom. You will get the notification. We are welcome again. Come on home, everybody. Nko na guess or Natal? Yes, our guest is here. Nko Dr. Natalie. He's a special guest today. Nko abuka nukur nakara la word sola. Abuka nukur nakara kalondo dinala nyanta dila nanyako. You guys are welcome. Welcome home. Today is Sunday. I'm here again with my big smile. Everyone, come on home. Come on home. Alnana. I'm so fired up right now. Yes, come on. Doctor is home. Sorry we are delayed just a little. And yes, Joe, thank y'all. Welcome home. Please, Ali and Saya. I am so fired up. Doctor is here. Nko, doku tembulu kotek. Dr. Bijag, the main man, lecturer nyum fango Bijag. So classroom okono, alala penslol ta, alman pen saferno, alala penslol ta. I am so fired up right now. I am so happy. Yes, welcome home. Joe, if you guys can hear me clearly, thank you, brother. Mbala, ala baraka, Dr. Bijanne. Mbal tentula mbali jela one more time. Today is Sunday. National issues. Nkana wala kacha. Mantara jang personal issues la. Oromo ni mbunya. Na legacy mu mintinta na tolbe. Malla fi nyim video ndingole na mamaringole na nyin click. Ikoje karu wole nendirole keja. We don't want them to have that attitude. So oromo ni mbunya lem. Aliena and Dr. Natalie. Nko, CA in the building. Citizens Alliance. Nko, you guys are in the building. Thank you. If you guys can hear me clearly, please. Allah fonye. We have no time to have any glitch, no excuse today. Sombe Dr. Sambalana. Thank you, Jaliba. Dr. Ceesay. Alinso, 1 minute. Hello? Please follow us on Facebook if this is your first time. Subscribe us on YouTube. He will be right back. He was just perfect, and just a second he glitched off. Respect. We will open the lines. If you have any question, you will ask him and he will answer to your questions. Please. Mbe horomoni mbunya kachale kelaja. Nali follow for the first time be jam platform or binto bantaba network. Horomoni mbunya lebe nyim platform otoja. Nganyo kanu nganyo bambu. Gambia is always one. Ninin karu uluta karifana nin karu le uluta. So ikawa chombe chonkan chomfanambe chonkan. Tol Gambia ntolbe walenya. So horomoni mbunya le mol sambana mini alonko ila londo le wartan talt. Party leader. Being a party leader, the Citizens Alliance la party leader is Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. Ngawala sotoja, ali subscribe, ali like over there, ali follow Facebook, ali information or share. Ali kana fukonta party kar wala nante information or share. So ali ngaso time la domandi bina kacha yuruwari ngol kachala jambi. Nga Dr. Jala atata Germany, atata Europe. Ngaje mbani ninkalo kulol be la fonye muna la tamo dalilot. I mean a jija, I mean a sambanya nang tol Gambian on semin se Kenyan on nanafat. Nito laman sakundanat. So Alinso, I be track and I connect back. I little issue sotala connection all about his trial. So election or mimbe voter registration or mimbe mba remind na kotek. IEC ko musol le fangba wakilin kata line out. Ka register. Ala la molu kumandi. Ita voice sotala no nita man taya register. Nita be Gambia please ila hajo be tuje. Haji do teje mi alonko wala kumaya kataka register. Kelo voice from oli. Nte tara nombe fini la mansa kari mambetea. Mansa do mambetea. Ite bukata karte file. So ite karte file no. Nita man register. Nali alla registration card ol mutal bulol kono. Al kana push 1 inch. Ala make sure ito safetala correctly information o mimbe kado nyimbala yeto safela correctly. Human error ka sotono ila kado nyimbala. Ali register, ali alla voice for molie. Nde tara no fini la mba fala karima mbetea mansa karima mbetea. Ita man ta karte fay. So alngan na mol encourage. Keli kal man tara register kang ala la hajol tuje. Ali ta register. Musol balu win kan. So na Dr. Natalie, Doctor.
Yes, you come where?
Sign came where. Dr. Bismillah Binto Bantaba Network. Came where. Come where. Come where. Doctor, come where. Doctor connection and problem in the sort of, but I've been a lot. Doctor, come where. Come where.
Come where.
Ante came where. Bismillah. Okay, Sai Mutuo, we are good to go. So, Dr. Mbe, welcome la Binto Bantaba Network. Nyumanke follow tija. Ni momo kumpata kalo njamalan Dr. Ceesay tanda video to dumala je. Na kachakele nko aya fai explain moli le atamu jamal. So wakana tare kumpoto bim mantao mala because ku jamal le bije nyanta nyinin kala min. Dr. Jammu hormoni mbunya le bijam. Mbe tentula. Mbe jayila. Yela dimbayal ni la hajo tuje. Yela party activity solbe tuje nate inintol grassroots fuaro lontangol. Londo o wote mbulle fere. So wala nankali sambana. So mbe welcome la najam. First of all, jani mbe ifenkala follow. Mbe congratulate la. Ike ye elect. Ye ke party leader ti. Ye ke presidential candidate December 4th. So bismillah.
Abarka bake bintu abarka mbe konton na bake mbe ni mbara na ibe doku nyuma mina gambe ibe kibaro janjang kanga bimol kumandika kanela platform moto kana ka diam gambe la kula ni mbe gambe sambala nyato nyame abarka bake fanang ila congratulations on abarka bake ngalon ntenga mera fan diam tele bring after bring ila diam ta bari inata fani ko mandiam gambe de la fanang
mandiam biri ye palaso nyu soto ngamira ko siede they did the right akai they did the right thing so mbe danna wala to mbe parti ni mbe welcome la fo ko nyim platform o Gambia dingol bele dental so atol you are part of that bankola sulo wala mfenka so mbe more remind kan election or voter registration o mbe keri yeta register so doctor lafta dunna first of all mbe dunna voter registration o wala kachalet ite ila jero to biri nyuni ya dadi on the 29 ite mineje nyim voter registration wala quote na nata naso dola ni minjeje yafo ngafo IEC ite amra IEC be improve la no wol to nyaade
abaka baka ye topico min ko ya damu damina kumata baka long voter registration oti carte fayo fam kana mina December ni manta ni mandin ka ta silora ni registration rek ababati la bakela ba nasid la min ko lon ko ngam mul identify parti ko do melo ngi ki de kata ni different center solto pour que observation okay ni observation okay fane be safero kala yakinan to executive nga jube ye mona cross je bi da cross lo le ka fa mi observers hani sa ma report so to follow na report min de ko yaade nyame on social media accusations ko for na solbe register kan na these are accusations because gama ko ala pour ala ndimalo
alim balal okay Dr. Bidakan na do tambulum baby mbala voice letter la video nyim fenkaya yes so voter registration on bola foka spelling error ka sotono voter registration card ol balal na la merol nimpabi wala tol fonga yalon koy mankara ni tata ni e kado nyintana ifutata nan sokon please akela hajote anila sulo ye tol jibe fo safero nyin a matchtal fo safero nyin matchtal ye tol spell nyame to avoid human error so al nga wakili nga finti nga tan ya nga tan mbodulalto nga tan register je nkana fitineke nkana fo you know the right thing political party agent tol be la location tol ita kana ke moti mi alon ko ite be silo ke suspecta mola do nya paka that's not gonna work because ita ta mojela no tendoro ya George so doctor be murun kannane nakacha melay no lielelal ala la questional standby doctor mba fala bo camera ay nke fenko doront audio doront ali mbali bismillah la one more time mbali bismillah al patient sotogne al patient sotogne mbatraka na kana yes ali information or share so another thing bankola security nite alon ko mobe ay sobitala ko atela do ko isna atela do ko ma do ko kalangolong yalon ka takata sutole akamurun nan tilole ila luntannem ifango dingole ali korosirok ali nga korosirok banko e tenkun ali mfango nganna banko tamandi banko e tenkun anyanta tenkun na nya police olte tarano dula beto ite tarano dula beto at the same time so ali nga kenna suloti nga kenna hajot ali nga sabari nyoy Gambia doyata nindo dolo ndo fananka dolo lo fonte so alimbat nga Dr. Binakan limbatu akanal connection o alanga jali bulay tulunya do mande mbelay no yele laliye in doctor nin naka chata fom parade yeah alimbala akanal the patient alkanam click out mbal dabato ko to nyopoti la Jali abaraka democracy ala baraka Nko siye Citizens Alliance una told ngal paretale because alla men question o minti atol dum paretale December 4th nko alnana aliol be ansa na doctor binala la abalu ma ko la baro ma tin man layno ele yo me layno ele la ni modan tan ño jinkan yeah aliyem batala connection wala ko ya tabul wala ndileta do mandi barna du tabul mbatu la telephone nka kenya be ko malal ma ngendu la goy buru nga badi yalla du no ala baraka jali ya baraka alama ale nijo medali dandana politiko fiti no duna ala baraka abinakan iman ku da kelela anyandala na gine nyama ifambunya idolo ala baraka yakuluni fama jizo do bando muratole ali emine mira this year alin text number nga kacha alin text na atoli amara candidate jamane be winna this year Dr. Fela I am muta alibat doctor amemo akanala yes I think so okay so Dr. Butuo continue
bring registration or sita task force like create within the party volunteers me alon ko ngi janjang dinkiral do tarik kada different registration center so to observe korosiro ke ko bita ka nyame wala report man na follow nak bari kambe mo social media kal fanan ka mo nyame wolon ko nga moyle ko be mol dagi sakane me alon ko ya jikko ko manke banko di ngolti fanan ibe mol dagi sa fanan kan ya jikko ko fanan man sango nyin soto pour ka register bar wol be ngaje social media nyame e fanaje wala nya bari to kam balle foni na report na from na mol mi al ngol le ki kata ka korosiro ke ni wala report onata le mbalona exactly ko data nyame animbe sim faju male dala pour ka je ko ngatan di silo kam
okay ntolnga IC official dol consult le ngenyini nka for registration o nyimbita ka nyame ya plan nyama bitaka wala nyama dol dantan fana yela wosi dadi ikoy la masingo nyanta 250 cards anyanta wala print out la bare kolea ko dol sotola is very a kolea tele pour ka 200 so ibuka 250 sotono a day so ite amere mine nyanta kala ko te sate ba dol fana mbije min kata gunjur wal sifalti ye registration center kilin ne soto mu ke bal katale kaloje fotiloye boy wo fana mu kolea ko dol and dol fana ko time duration ni ya mera ko at sufficient la malete mo ideal soto nyun ku sabol
se a commencé yeming il banda kam wolon time duration oti ndonga jiki ko on the 11th of July abatara mo jama register no because comme ya fanya problème o siatale ela masingo la capacity aning akami bondi luwolong ala capacity mo aussi mo jama bi de problème so attestation no fana soto ramol kasia mol la hajul siata so dol la pareta la IC ça fait in fact ka fo ko ya extend ya ro 2 or 3 weeks de pour ka chance di every Gambia la mi alon ko eligible de la ka vote pour ese vote no so wo mbe kala de ko ngalon ko IC comme ya fo nyame to fana they have certain weaknesses capacity mi la problem molati fanang there are many other weaknesses mi alon ka be jele mbe ngalon mi alon ko challenges on long so ning wato bina si lambe IC engage la ngi safe ka fo ko pour registration of period ya extend under 2 or 3 weeks sa mol mi alon ko kolya so pour ka register et register no bawo ni mo kulti mi alon ko democracy no mo mi alon ko Gambia di ngolti ya keto so enante carte fay so issues like ela masingo mambete ya rango siara manya naka mobile carte fayola so do ma dikira le ko be IEC engage la le ka diko ya extend mo le 2 or 3 weeks sa momo mi alon ko Gambia di ngolti ya keto so et register no
okay so fenkodum polling registration station or sate balto ete amra mo nyanta ko fula no nyaadi is a station do yela bam for time to duration on you wala be nyanta kafula
IC la capacity mo wala long de jigra IC man capacity soto because yalong voter registration no ika plan le and IC la ning planning to the nya juba kata nyame la planning de style demanding because inanda ka lon ne nyanda ka data use la ka long population center solbe muntole depending on population center ika fen ko deploy wala nya poli ika registration center sol deploy wala nya bani mo data use ide ka jele ka okay gunjur nga killing ki ne bu ko okay ika jiba gunj mena gunju la population oti in terms of voter registration ya deploy based on that dollar mi alon ko molman siaji e killing ke but at bu ko road map le man so bu kontama road map ni road map so non ali they use data ka tandiko population senabala gunjur sukutanyol brufudnyol brikamanyol basenyol will they need more registration centers because they more siata je bakele so mimbo multimia I hope I see they will learn from it ebe karana nyintole and then the kalon Gambia population increase ta bakele compared to 2011 because registration happens in Gambia every 10 years comprehensive registration the last one was 2011 2021 bole kono so 10 years population almost are increase because Gambia population can increase every 16 years sabu ko mafa double talent in the but at least close to a double talent so that ko London jele ko they'll need more registration stations they need machines mi alon ko they have big capacity heavy duty capacity bole need la so we need to go back and look ye mill acquire ye mill source na ke fina the machines are they fit for purpose to do the job because sometimes you might want to go for price me go cheap that we are going for quality heavy duty no matter how expensive will heavy because these are elections elections man ke pucha hand se man ka tulungala so we'll engage IEC mbembala le phoning we are waiting until because bere started for sanye almost about among half of period of month follow next time review ning IEC be silale by next week near review so far what are the challenges and what should we do to overcome these challenges ning IEC bo kachala at the party level.
Okay. UDP agent told me ila party agent told me registration center to ibe mol haraska ibe discrimination okay kan ni tenata line auto iteman kanfo itoli min moy e ke discriminate le yemena soto party o party agent toli ka tu ita fon talbe kono itabe jele bare wolma issue fo
generally the voter registration
Vinala alimbala Abinakan. Woo, kana okay. Dr. Binala, yeah. So me wala kachakang. Atol la question wala lisa fenyo on the side. Mini yala kumpa me read la doctor. Voter registration or science nga wala ma as a topic. Binala mbala German triple kachala. Please, I'll stand by. I'll can click off because Binal normal. Thank you. Tungara, ala baraka. Ngaji, afela kana.
Ekamwele.
Thank you.
So konga fo nyame every party la mole deploy filo to go and observe. So I cannot speak for individual parties. What I can speak for all on the general process as a Gambian co, we need to be careful. We cannot processing undermine. Because the integrity of the registration ninga undermine election affect because election form started in effect. The process, the entire electoral process is part of the process. Electoral process man election kate fa lungo tede. Where is the end of the process? Kate fa your result for me winter, where is the end of it? But the process has already started, and this is an integral part of the process. So the kuku kela ngalom makela nyame kana problem of fina. Aka polari wa dilo kala njumano foreigner because isikeno Gambian oti. Isikeno wandi banku di motibe steering Gambia. Ye Gambia kero so atere man kandol moy. So be difficult kala njumano foreigner wala na nyanda kan ke ku ngalom bambe min kala ni mbakela nyame pour kana problem of fina Gambia. So by individual parties, I cannot comment on that.
Okay. All right. So mela view moyo on Rohey Malick Lola attestation dio nga party leader dol moyle for example Honorable Halifa Sallah. I warning the IEC lale akona ni Honorable Rohey Malick Lo Mayoress Rohey Malick Lo ma stop is a IEC sambano suno court. So leftela opinion olo moila what?
Yeah, this is a bit contentious because constitutional ko alkalo ni say for the attestation of the in Banjul imang alkalo ning say for sort of day.
Right.
So obviously IEC ko Rohey Malick Lo sa dino, which is itself problematic because Rohey Malick Lo is an elected office who has a political interest. So therefore, a conflict of interest le feel nanji. Wala nang control, we are waiting until the process has ended until we'll decide at the party the action to maletala. Whether we'll take court action, whether we will accept it as it is. But until the malala all our reports from all our agents from the different stations, seeing the whole entire processing assess because malafika start a noise make because the more noise we make, the more the more we undermine the process of the registration.
Okay.
So until feel like as a party, what we can do is to assess the entire electoral process, the entire registration process, from attestation yadi nyameng to behavior of polling IEC officials at polling stations. Everything we need to have put a holistic assessment of the entire process. Then we'll decide Sambe Monekela. But for now, we are observing, we are watching, we are talking to lawyers as well. More advice because this also has to do with constitutional matters as well. Well, whether I said no winning because different schools of thought. There are those me feel ko she can do it. There are those me feel ko she cannot do it. So until we are trying to take our time, ngabe assess holistically, not only the aspect of Rohey Malick Lo, but the entire process holistically because the Rohey Malick Lo is just one component of it. There are other issues me along ko ba fokane ko alkalo be ka kodo receive to give attestation. Ko even more register kana me along ko ma sango soto. Ko e more register na me along ko man kambe dingol. So all this process put together, all these anomalies put together, they will still assess it and now will decide what course of action to take after the whole entire process now.
Yeah, what a delay laba. At a delay.
Because according to the law, registration of the IEC will give 1 month for people to contest some of the infra-registered voters. There's a process for that. Okay. For people to contest. So we are going to use that window to also do it because right now, we are going to undermine the entire process. At a late level, because even though you have voters card, we can challenge that voters card. Feel you got it wrongly. That process is coming. Now, IEC will open that window for people and know what they'll do. They publish all the list of voters cards. So that is the process. It can be published. So now, some individual political parties and citizens to go and challenge certain people. Feel like and the due process follow. So until we are waiting for that period until we can take action. But for now, we want to give the process a chance. Okay. For it to go smoothly. After that, we'll assess the in its entirety, and we'll take action.
Okay. So diaspora de lahido tantoli elako ni election o sita 2021 ndol fanambe participate la bare nata jala ko last minute amanna possible mina si la stanti ntolla ke balia
yalong ntol kabrin 2018 2019 ntol nga saka IC engage at a CA level working together with civil society within the context of GAM code nga IC task ñu lon ko this need to give a roadmap ibe jela binda
ha mbijan
we need a roadmap because yalong diaspora voting is a complex issue.
Right.
Among the meka wule small ngata diaspora voting. No, there are many issues that needs to be sorted out first. Ebuka wule rek yake. What is the roadmap? Ale census kelabang. How much money will you need to do this to make this happen? How will you mobilize those resources? What are the legal hurdles I will anticipate? What are the technical logistical hurdles? What been clearly by last year? Because that is the first time, and these are elections. But it seems like IEC lacks the capacity. Maybe I'm not faulty to do a diaspora voting, registration, and also within the context of COVID-19. But we've always been fighting for diaspora has to vote. If you go back to my videos and interviews, so I even said that in diaspora man vote, I mean, it really is going to undermine the elections. So, but IEC they should have started this process at least 3 years ago. It takes at least 2 to 3 years to plan for the diaspora to vote if you want to do it rightly. Get a roadmap. What are the things that needs to be done in the short term, medium, long term? I feel like it's so unfair. Because diaspora would contribute a chunk to our GDP. They are disenfranchised and they are Gambians. And there was a Supreme Court ruling not long ago, diaspora must be registered to vote. So because of negligence, because of obviously incompetence, diaspora man vote, and it's unfortunate.
So it mean a mirror 2020 election or botala December 5th. Diaspora even diasporian or advice lamina mansa kunda mimbesila. Ibe advice lamina puru should be forwarded to them quick to who you or somebody else.
I think any serious government being not into power and you care about the welfare of Gambia, you need to ensure diaspora votes, no matter what. But you start the process early. You need to plan for that process. Don't see when you come to power, that is our priority. Diaspora must vote. And we'll start the process early. We'll not start on 6 months before election. We'll start the process at least 3 or 4 years before elections to prepare for it. But it's not also late. Because the electoral cycle is coming in 3 months after the elections.
Okay.
Well, I don't know the legal issues there, whether diaspora can vote in those ones, I'm not sure. But the most important was for them to vote in the presidential elections. And I think any serious government who really care about your country and the citizens of your country, you need to ensure that diaspora votes. And Dulcie, we are giving that commitment and that pledge. One of the first things we'll work on is to bring out a roadmap for diaspora voting, and this is a pledge. And any government, but diaspora they need to also speak with one voice, because it seems like we are fragmented forces. There was one force to hold government accountable. That force will start to engage government as a diaspora force 2 years ago, and things are done on time. Maybe but to come it seems like polarized. We are all polarized.
Yeah.
There was no concerted effort as one force to hold government accountable. Open and played a key role to it. And I think going forward, diaspora should get a strong diaspora force, a core force. So they'll start now to hold government accountable, not only in diaspora voting, but on many issues in diaspora.
Yes. Okay. Bismillah. Ngajele tamata. Itata Europe. Itata Germany. Mbe compare la triple. Lafte la triple explaining ye. Ani mundalila la fonga yatine nyin triple wulen.
Well, Cabinet 2018, I was working with some young people in Baden-Württemberg. The organization the Gambia Refugee Association, GRA. The whole association, what they do is they work towards the welfare, to promote the welfare of Gambian refugees in Europe, in Italy, in Germany, in Switzerland, in Spain, in Malta. That's what they do. So, Young Contact in 2018 So they want to do a demonstration because of deportations. So from that end, start advice. So na call dunta nyokono. Whenever they need advice, get advice. So sometime this year, early this year, young engage, could they've applied for a permit to demonstrate because deportation will start. You know, there was a moratorium deportation. Because deportation will start and they are not happy and they want to do a demonstration. So engage well. So they applied for a permit, but they did not permit on the grounds of COVID-19. Because sometimes demonstration book a problem will solve. It's the last resort. Sometimes engagement and consultation and dialogue, you could achieve a lot in that than just demonstrating. Because if you demonstrate 3-4 hours, you worry, conquer your mother, till you can say, but will you achieve your goals? And the goal is to ensure deportation on your stop. And Gambia government promotes a policy of reintegration. The German government policy is deportation, but that is German's interest. Not as a country, we should have our own interest as Gambia. We should tell the German government deportation is not on our agenda. The policy is integration. Make sure you integrate these boys back into German society by giving them jobs and training, skills training. So anyway, what I will do is I've been on the ground fighting for this deportation thing, working with you guys. I want to come and see how are you guys doing there. Left Canal Germany, Canal Jubal Benjamin. I want to go from time to time. Kajibe Allah welfare Benjamin Asylum seeker soul. Follow German Mansa Kundai by treat Kang in accordance with international law, refugee soul treat Walanya. Allah Kamunala, how can we engage the German government? So that Nimbala Kokele Kanjang, I have first-hand information, it's coming from how long. So walana ngo tipo wulindi wala kama atara meno UK lab so ntata wala nya Germany ndara Berlin ndara Bremen ndara Stuttgart ndara Baden-Württemberg area be I went time to time different time soul kataka boy soul meet pour ne kata kala problème long different nyaadi le ade okay ibe do ko la fe man dara do ko la ibe la kan man dara second school but also to also remind them of their responsibilities even though we want the German government to integrate them, but they also have a responsibility in terms of their actions, how they behave in Germany, because they're ambassadors of Gambia. Being Gambia funding tang in Germany, that the streets so clean. But Gambia funding kill that crime committed is $1 better. So even though we are fighting for you, but you also have a responsibility. So what is somebody kara Canadian ke yamar ke la nyalonje ke la sulolong pour nimbe de mala sama ke la kokele.
Ibije nkeja yeah ntolonga Gambia no na brothers and sisters so ngela ko kacha back so many souls atina la fanga lawyer sambana nyampuru means atina nyin deportation issues are internationally as a landing in a play inside jibe fons I understand but ngo kacha keja so wala nan contanta brief on tate ni diam yemun concern kulle soto min ketete fango nyaado yemini foye
follow nga kuje mi alon ka nyaabo fondin kenya bi mi alon ko e hammo soto bake be do ko la nga mo nyini kay mo la ko do ko wala be skills training like after house building but in do fana be barana bake ila asala mo ya reject la e mantara do ko la e mantara kan su mantara ko fere be siri hammo to drong do sanji woro be sirinje with anxiety ko anytime say deport no Gambia ni mutna Gambia fongo fene teje because Gambia government any policy soto how to reintegrate back the deportees back in society. And when they go back to Gambia, it can neglect it. La community from more from duty la ko, it can go to a failure. The pare mojamal bije fana ye kolo le fu jandi be dala tubabu. So deportation is not a solution. Ntenga wala foga. So wala na biri ba min tata nganya bum jolonko. Ibe hammo sotole. Ibe do ko la ibe da kan school patak fodol mi alonko ila katul bantale ila katul reject le. Wolle mantara do ko le be siri hammo de mantara fongo fenna je. Bari Mansakunda preuve for Gambia Mansakunda le banko kila interest le poshu ela banko de ngola interest should come first. Gambia right now we lack the institutions to accept deportees from Gambia from Germany. na institutional bele filter from law enforcement to criminal justice system to mental health a bele filter do go fanantije. We have a lot of young people in Gambia alone they are jobless now. Youth unemployment rate 41%. So we need to have the courage to speak to the Germans, control deportation of mental integration, integrate these boys back into German society. Then what we can do to work together is to stop the irregular migration. Now stop model Qatar, but military already, I will integrate. Germany can do it. Because every year, Germany is 500,000 workers in Germany today. Put in a welfare system kind of crumble. They need 500,000 jobs are vacant. They are looking for people. In fact, when I was there, the German Minister of Works had to go to Mexico to look for workers to come and work in Germany. While we have Gambians, they are always sitting there and they want to work, they want to start, and they're all smart. So, integration policy correct is very discriminatory, and it discriminates against Africans, especially Gambians. But we need a government me along kala hajo lonne. In Germany see yela police nko nyinon tola policy. We cannot accept deportation because of XYZ. We want you to integrate these boys, and we can do this. For those me along kemanta for any hamolon purkata, we can stop those from going by providing incentives for them to stay. The money is there. The German government has the money to spend, but we lack the government in the malo whether imale winkela or ikatawale. But that is why the failure is governance, where we can sit at the bilateral level with the German government, Katani control as a country. This is our interest, and this is what we want, and this is how you should treat our citizens, because this is in accordance with international law. Gambia is a signatory to the Global Migration Compact, the same thing as Germany. How we should treat asylum seekers living in our country. So the problem is the Gambia government that is why we are having all this problem. But Abalafa Watako, na bankudingol mi alon ko na funding kill wala na kasi Gambia doku, we're exporting labor to Germany, giving them for free imanson kata instead ibena molta kan ibe barandi kanje bari. I'm happy ko dol bije wobe do kola andi karong la jefana.
So dol fanang baon ka so nyinkele dol ya call kenan ika kaitol dundi in another European countries. Let's say ya dundi Italy for a kaito soto ya kaito nyimabo somewhere ye bunta eta Germany. So you almost see fal mitle ye la story for bang if that's something.
Story for
Okay.
European law, I think it's Frontex law. The first country don't dami asylum seek in asylum seek, but Italy is exempted.
Okay.
For example, ni don't Switzerland. That's your first entry. You asylum seek in Switzerland. You cannot go to Germany. Ni asylum seek, Germany they'll deport you back. But Italy is exempted. So some of them Italy is still lati. You can have Italy, data Germany or Switzerland, because doko sort of so near Italy. The system in Germany is more favorable than the Italian system. But me kumada lonko whatever is like Germany, Germany or any European country, the German government should be able to be courageous to have a good deal for them. Me kumada lonko ye back weleta ntomanya naka iwe back deal o man kan tola do ko as a government ni mara fa wulta ya because of failure of governance in Gambia wala na gal wulta because beni funding kele fanya no Gambia bankon kan e do ko soraje e taraje horomo kono anim bunya anim forea kono Gambia e de back weleta la karatu babudo bawo man Gambia do ko pour ye fanya di CJ ye harje ni je mo soraje wala tine back weleta karatu babudo woron ntomanya naka way back ni ndila back to Gambia nana kamin ko lonko mil dunta fayla harge alaye di ma fay dunta ning dama masa konda diamo nge negotiate they will integrate back into German society ye skills dila ni skills ban mim pataka sena Gambia nga package sote package mi alonko nera Gambia you can easily integrate back into society bari ni o manke be kol yalla an tol wolon tol la miro an ko wala kala wolo
yemu yamar le dila janni be bolananje
ko de ambassador of Gambia be Gambia le represent kan bi Gambia la todi yani Gambia la toku ya moy tollete katandi fanan ko naaje bote ya idata sila kolon la foi data wandi ya fenne sambaji wodon ko they also have a responsibility, even though the German government has a responsibility and the German government it all for individual responsible and they know nanaka ensoko ye behave in accordance ye loi ni normal in Germany ikana ko kemya lon ka be loi tinyala Germany le ikana ko kemya abe toku ya fela na Gambia ne isaje ndo fana miano ko mela ko kele kanne isaje fana nsa kele no nsin kango jan mbela ko kele kamba nimbe ko la ko kele mari be tilimbali ala aka ko yale so tenga yamar wala ko they have a responsibility the ambassador of Gambia the German law normal ye behave ikana ko kemya lon ko sama abina to ko yale fela itol fonga wala Gambia
Bismillah. Wo beteata. Nate jilo kote ke biri boto woto. Itata agricultural institute to. Itata dairy farm to. Itata biogas plant. What area be explaining ya kati ya ntolu alondo mangwara ntolu nga safero le jodoro nga masingo le jenga mbunta unkungala
hayalon ku sababu je mialon Gambia bi nga misle wala na Gambia be patakono wala ma agriculture soto right
okay
manufacturing industry ma soto right and also energy ma soto right and these are very critical sectors in Gambia bi because if you want to attract investors Gambia, if in Gambia, you need to get the energy sector right. Energy man, we don't have energy security in Gambia. We don't have food security. We don't have job security, and these three sectors like a nilfina. Now, let's look at energy, for example. Gambia needs almost 100 megawatts of electricity. Produce, but this is going up. Now, population is increasing. What governments do is they look at population increase now. You look at the projections. In 2015, the population is 5 million. How many energy would we need to consume? Because consumption patterns can change. Population can change. Because in 20 years ago, muka microwave will use no naso kono Gambia. Muka flat screen TV use no naso kono Gambia. And kettle, and water heater sol. Which means the electric consumption no man high no. But it's time with population growth, with consumption more energy. So therefore, and is that. What do? Big Gambia, 100% of our energy needs comes from fossil fuels. It's not sustainable. It's not even good for the environment. Generators so long. Even the car power ship, a generator use. It's destroying our environment. It's very expensive because we are left to the devices of the oil of the international market. Because when oil prices go up, obviously, we have to buy oil more expensive. But in the Gambia, we have indigenous sources of energy. Even though their cost of building it is expensive, obviously, but cost of running is very cheap. We have solar energy, enough solar energy. I saw in that Germany, I've seen solar farms. Kabo brikama for farato. Ajango abe panel solar to provide energy. Wind farms. We have water, hydro. We have biogas. All of waste. Gambia is waste we don't know what to do with our waste. Septic waste, waste, we don't know what to do with it, and that waste can be turned into energy. So the idea is to look at innovative ways of using technology and also own resources to provide energy and ensure energy security. So that if in 2015 our population is 5 million, they'll need 200 megawatts of electricity. We make sure we provide 300 megawatts. So we have extra that we can sell even to the outside world. So I want to explore those ones, how the technology works, who are the key players, how can we bring this technology to Gambia to make sure we have energy security and use our own indigenous resources of wind, waste, solar, and water to provide energy and ensure energy security. Agriculture, the same thing. Gambia has a huge potential, enough arable land, enough water, both water surface water and underground water. Enough potential for irrigation. Enough potential can make sure we move from seasonal farming to round the year farming. Because that is seasonal. Enough potential we move from subsistence farming, all farming from balloon, and then commercial and large scale farming, all farming, agriculture, agriculture me alongo. Nsadamo I see our plus na min fanam fee. For example, mano nsi furinyo de dano woto, tamate nsi ketebe de dano woto. Maize, for example, different wala ka factory feneka fole ko industrialized and big Gambia industries. But the big Gambia even the most basic thing ketchup. And we waste a lot of tomatoes in Gambia every year to morning bunako musola tamate men katinya is too much, and we can make ketchup from that. Atondi fam tulo mukaila on fire. Mayoneso muka fengo feng abeka bana Senegal. Imagine if we had to produce the goods and services we need for ourselves in Gambia. The population, the market is there, 2.4, 2.5 million, increasing. But nothing is happening. So how do we look at the technological innovation to invest that into agriculture, to make sure we move from subsistence agriculture to commercial large-scale agriculture, to make sure that we have food security, build industries, expand the manufacture base, so that we start also doing trade. Maka Gambia doing mantara trade la. Until we just buy trade all mundi jend ak jaay e ka wafele asa. Until be kamone wafe. Until kasan. Until montara
Kasandoro.
to boost trade, we need to also expand the agricultural base, which in turn will expand the manufacturing and industry base. So we grow what we eat. We also add value to those things. For example, yeah, I mentioned I went to the livestock. Niso, Bal, Sadio, B, they make cheese. It cannot know that I will let up. Keke Puro Canada whole letter. But Canada whole letter. But in all best why? Because we don't have the right ideas, the right mentality, and the right innovation solutions. Me alon komba fela ngambe kaje ko. Na nisi no nga kekeo nga kem fandono to me alon konka minne. Nga bota daji, nga cheese daji. Nga obeda nga use kadulu afina mantala bankonka. But if you want to carry in Gambia, and what we need to do for way possible, we need to create right investment environment. Can make sure that enough energy, enough electricity, can structure is there. Can make sure we have a knowledge population, a knowledge-based population. Because when investors come, this I think they look for. Is there security? Yes, there is security, so therefore your capital is safe. Is there energy? Yes, there is energy. The population, are they educated? Yes, there is. At least you don't have to bother yourself with training. You create the right environment and attract right investors to provide jobs, boost your economy, and invest in social projects like healthcare, education, so that every government can live in dignity.
So ning CA government nate benyi implement la no nyadi. Agriculture ning energy, yes.
Agriculture is that we are going to attract investment, especially in agriculture. We are going to make sure we move from subsistence agriculture to we are going to invest a lot. Although government cannot do, you need investors to do this. Government, there are certain amount of government takinola, obviously. You need, but for investors to come, you need to attract, you need to give them the reason why they should come. Imagine an investor coming from Germany to Gambia to invest in the agro industry, in the livestock industry. In Nisijamalsa, thousands of nisol, and they have a factory, Minkan cheese that are in KK Poto. These are the things that we are looking for. So until we want to create the right environment, until government cannot invest in these things, it's not government's job. Government has to focus on providing social services, education, health, security. But government should also create the right environment to attract the investors. We are going to invest in the energy sector, obviously, and we need to also reform NAWEC for that to happen. NAWEC is a monopoly. It's not. It is inefficient. It has been insolvent. 2011, government like case subsidized. It cannot work like that. What do we do to ensure power generation, transmission and distribution, and then at the how do we reform? We are going to reform it. There are two schools of thought. Dolco we reform it by engaging in public-private partnerships. Dolco, in fact, we deregulate it. Yeah, privatize. But these are two schools of thought. We are looking at which is best for Gambia. In some countries, they are privatized. Both the generation and the distribution are really privatized. Private companies all the time. But again, Dollar Gambia case is unique. So we are going to see how we are going to reform not only NAWEC, but also other state-owned enterprises that are supposed to bring money for us. Well, not access salty. GRA is supposed to bring money. Ports is supposed to bring money, but ports is not efficient. Container Qatar jele 1 month bondino. It's losing money. Ports. Senegal is not taking over our ports because it is very efficient. Civil aviation is supposed to bring us money. GRA is supposed to bring us money. NAWEC is insolvent. Gamsel. What do we do with it? Amantara Kodofenanka Mall, instead we subsidize it. We cannot compete with Mohamed Jas, QCell, and Africell. So we need to look at what our potentials. Look at our marine resources. We have bad deals in our marine resources. We need to get good contracts to make sure. So what I'm told as a government CA, about 10-point plan, me alonko wallon tolla private areas when we come to power. Number one, I'll on jobs.
Go ahead.
How do we do that? We are going to create the right environment to attract the right investors to come and invest in the Gambia. How do you do that? You make sure you have enough energy, the right infrastructure, the right education, and these are key. Neo sort of you attract investors, they come and be Germany near the when I was amazed. The natural resource. All they have is companies, factories. That's how they make money. So we can do the same thing in Gambia. We create that investment environment, open up the country to investors. We have the youthful population. They are very smart, very industrial. Give them the skills, bring the investors, and we provide jobs, and then everything else will be fine.
Doc, nga nga Minister of Information soto janne min keta Honorable Ibrahim Sellati ngani ninka credit la telephone fankoni alla credit alimbalal alimbalal mandali credit ko la baka alimbalal so ngani ninka credit ko la nka credit ko certa ninta nga call ke jang ka telephone kata ka call ke Gambia is so expensive wakadi kilingo nga Senegal call it's cheaper ngani ninka ko ikata ka wholesale kanandame Gambia doya tale so much so itolka min fenka itolka min sa wala certa so Gambia no le call kana ko it should not be Gambia doya tale so much itolle tanyanta chipla mina mi tala idea to wato anin ni CA government nata albe mako la no nyin credit call to nyadi
yalla mo ne keringa wala monopoly le bije that's a monopoly in the telecom sector.
Okay.
Because only 2 players la control B, Africell and QCell. Gamcell open call because all the inefficient. But what does it? So they need to open up that sector to more Gambians to invest in it. There are Gambians now they come to Gambia with very brilliant ideas to enter that market. They can block it. So when there's a monopoly in any sector, the prices are expensive because the demand is higher than the supply. That's simple economics. So now Pura and Gambia needs to open up that sector to other Gambians to invest. So that it is not controlled by only QCell and Africell and Gamcell. So there are other actors there, but also a tax fund reduced. Because taxation, because when government borrows a lot of money, government is borrowing a lot. And when they borrow, they don't invest what they borrow. In fact, they consume it. In projects, they are only politically expedient projects and not to boost the economy. So when you borrow a lot, you have to pay those debts. What you do is to increase taxes. So the problem is what? Taxes is the way the tax system is, and also the monopoly of the sector. That sector should be opened up so they bring it so that you can go and invest in it. But some other Gambians that are interested in investing. When there's competition, when you boost competition, it helps the consumer because people have many choices to take from. You understand? But apart from that, that is the problem. It's not about Gambia size. There are countries Gambia is bigger than them.
So doctor kanyin kenya dile katale ye wa credit ko sana yana distribute new company saboli bang how do they do it how do you
think they have a gateway. They have what they call the gateway. So Gambia has to pay for it. In fact, Gambia even makes money in that gateway. The gateway is being controlled now by the office of the president, and this goes contrary to what Ansan Young for me recommend. Could that gateway should be that's a mono because Gambia government law gateway control. Well, I think that. And all these operators has to source from the Gambia government. They should liberalize that sector totally. Kajako, at least these other companies can also and go and buy choose iba
okay. Choose yes.
But you want them problem well it's very expensive because of the monopoly that is there. So we need to find a way to really liberalize that sector. And we get more actors into the sector. We also look at the taxation also and make sure consumers but also the consumer protection, consumer welfare can step in because people are not doing their job as they are supposed to do their job. Can make sure these providers give value for money. But they are not. They get away with it. So mean they take away because there's no competition. Either you go Gamcell or QCell.
Yes.
QCell or Africell. Either you go these two because Molana Comium is almost dead. In fact, I understand they are running up. So that is the problem.
Okay, mbatunga diamu molie. Nko mbal tentula mbal jay la nga Dr. Sotajan Dr. Ceesay Citizens Alliance ila party leader anila candidate 21 December December 4th. So nal duntana sign mbela no yelali a little bit nyato demanding pour aller docteur ñin kal fan son questionol mbabe kala hormone mbuñal nga sambana njende nga ñin kala triple nga ñin kala registration all sa we are moving on if you come late nita nata late please is start over kacha important den kumari ngol mbole alim follow Facebook alim subscribe YouTube doctor sa mbe sambala nam political ikafa Gambian ol kafala ko Dr. Ceesay a smart bara adindi yata pour que president ida mina follow all ye
Yeah, what I mean, India. Okay, I'll give you context.
Ika follow ko hani sa man pareku adindi ya dal pour que president. Ibe mina follow woli.
President Macron was 38 years without the president. Macron. Justin Trudeau in Canada was 35, Marlon 36. The Australian president was 28. Obama was how many years? Obama was 42. When
42.
I'm 46 years old. I'm 46 years old.
Yes.
So political, correct? But age is not what is important. It's about what you can, a vision and what you can achieve. What is important. Man can do what pour que more Karan University Sanji Tangde. Ke ban ni ngol li musuje. But ndu ala program what is the criteria as long as I'm qualified by the constitution age wise. Ndama age bini mona mo mi alon ka be 110 years le. Not competent. I know. Nga joko I know nga jiko sota bala fa sota hino sota ngani sota. Why not? Ni mo be 35 years the same thing. So it's not the age is not important.
For the funding
abe 100 days at the fendo kulaje. Nsadi mo la equally mi alon ka be 10 at the 25 at the kudo kulaje. Anga mo jiko dube ani akamemfo. Ala vision. Ala ka sambanko sambanyadi le. Ngo dube not ala age. In the first ndefa market ngoti mundi ni sifa mo mi alon ka 46 ka 47 but 50 years so mundi ni sifa lawde.
Didn't what it okay didn't what it
so aga didn't ngalo kon ndeko muta kodi
Gambian funding ke fananka fala ko they are ready pour funding ke tra place to dia moye itelom funding ke itel ni be tembe kili
yalong funding ke yalong the issue I don't want to play the funding ke card because what is important is you are competent you are able to do your job you deliver when you become president. More people will see change in their lives in the Gambia. Me you want la Gambia me karo jela je wala kumada.
Wala kumada.
Simoke me alon ko nga funya men abe 35 years he can do the job perfectly. Simoke me alon ka be 35 at fekala je. Equally simoke me alon ka be 100 le asake perfectly. So let's not look at the age. Let's look at amai akamemfo ajiko adajiko anim fasi banko samanonga jiko sana banko diala. Wala kumada.
Bismillah. Coalition mo malon follow but coalition diamo le be ngunu kan APRC NPP dulal be konkon kan sign to lo question o jannim bitala far into the CL conversation atol dung ali bunda konkon ne ba fo do yalla bunda konkon
man bunda konkon e man na bunda konkon
okay so atol da mala vital for political ma should be we just wait
binda until join the politics not because of position or could be just to be president. We join politics because we want to transform Gambia. Until there's no point ngake president within Gambia de falina mala fo president yala. Nata da nita kata president defo wala be falina defo wala be transform la defo wala na family but Gambia de transform la mala fo president yala mala fala. Sign coalition is not the issue. Nga coalition so that in 2017 amana problem solve. We can equally have one at the problem solve. Intala fundamental philosophy is very simple. If I see a coalition me along the agenda is the same, the framework is right. Mbaka kan Gambali and Gambia will move and it's genuine. Molo me along genuine tale amanke chan kuti kanyo nene pataka dugo ke. Halnya ta mekala what manoleti. Aso Gambia I'll be the workman coalition. But you don't have to lead to make change. Mansa ala le kodi, president ala le kodi. Isa nyini ita sotala. Do na nyina asota. Isa nyini ya sota e banko watila. So man get the issue so long let the agenda be right and let it be genuine. Not that I can join coalition just because I want to join political bolol from official. Just to join because I want to join. Just because left the position on la. So when there's an agenda me along it is a right agenda. Only through a coalition we can achieve this agenda. Only through a coalition we can achieve this agenda. It is genuine, it is right, it can move the Gambia. We'll consider discussing with that coalition partners. But not to join just because you want to be in government, right? You join a coalition, even though that coalition's agenda is not right. It cannot move the country. Into that coalition order.
Okay. Obeteata. Siye dung. Atolia munjalal le landi. Kaitandi Gambia no lako al paretale, al serious tala al paretale. Mano alia mano lale sa imparetale for December 4th alia mun ferelle land.
Well ndolde mbakane we have a strategy walonko ntola politiko mbuka nyon mbuka moneng mbuka mo kajafi konante ya politiko ke mbuka ku ke na manke we looked at the problems of the Gambia. We have the solutions in our manifesto. We are going out to sell that agenda to the people. Village by village, town by town, we sell the agenda to the Gambians. At the end of the day, the Gambians are going to vote. I have only one vote. The family be one vote le below. So the people who are going to vote is Gambian people. So what we can do is sell that's political. What political? Abuko lumo. Lumo me ankala lumo. Mobile firi fo yalandi. Ya la firi fo wafi. E minta sangalo ko mole wala sang yela bagna bante na baga sol pa fu lum ko den. So the agenda is we have an agenda. The strategy is we have an agenda. We are talking to the people at the grassroots level to sell our agenda. To make them understand why it is important for them to vote. And mela situation of Falina in terms of healthcare, water, electricity, education for their kids, jobs for young people, security. This is the agenda we are saying, the solutions we are telling them. The rest is up to the people to decide. So the agenda is very simple. The strategy is simple. I have an agenda, we sell it, let the people decide who they want to vote for.
Yamu yamarle soto election wala ni kabo registration time o katafo carte fay wato. Ite mu yamarle soto Gambia noli.
Wolonko nga kambe nga ke kilindi. Yalong ning kambe ngo manke Gambia. Gambia ta no matter nga mum presidency fala soto. Gambia ta nyato. Fonsi ke kilindi being divided back there so much polarization in Gambia. Along multiple layers. You understand? Fonsi ke kilindi yalang banko mi along in harmony with itself. With inside. Ite kukenola outside, ite kukenola inside. Kami ya olonko ngaje ko Gambia bi politiko manke kuti mi alon kanya ka sonko lo wara kelo long wara nyonda nga wala kelo nings. No. Politiko is mona woti.
Abinakan.
Tro jumale to. E carte di wala we banko. Nama no 5 years so I mean promise amake nga bondi nga modo kete. Moto nga maku nganyo bunya nga karo sabatindi nga konna nendirobola anen sonko anen sifatan fanso ngolta ngolbe fay banta nga kon to mu gambe kelu ngalete politician be katale kana la tam so la per dañol la bienu je ani jawra ñol asal musa kamara ñol yana sana sirib di bañol wolbe tije bi tatale bin tolle bi je woto ngalon ko bitale sama modol fanam binale bari be fene tula ko na baro anen na fo gon kamim baran kamen kem botelo ko wala ngolon history ro ma fala ngama ku na kamben nga lonko aferol molo momo manya nak mom gambelo kamen do mo na karo amala ko ngi kawle do mo kawle do ro mi alon ko ni ngay banay banko 2021 abe karo felanan kam gambia abe kamben ngo felanan le abe yurwa felanan le o mari ni atara gambelo convince no o mari asoto fo docteur ci lombang fo Halifa Sallah lombang fo Mama Kandeh lombang min kumata olonko karo sabati be kon taman sens men defe ninte kata president wati gambe man karo soto wala ka president wati atoni fa gambe ma yuru wasoto natte ni so ntenga boje nte yuru wata bari gambe ba noma o man dama la fo president ya man na fa soto. There's no point. Why ka president ya yini for what? You are looking to be president because you want to bring change in your society, positive change. Ila ka kanye ko every child has access to quality education. Fawluta bidilole bang, fawluta basele bang, fo fonyi bang, fo nyomi. Isati alata ke mindi gambe akati. Musu mo moni sasata ita ye jar ita dula jam. Ye bor kendo dila. Momo finta banda ye kero so realon ko you are safe, you are secure, moti fala moti sango sunyala. Yela sute wulu sonanda fente kelela. Mole jise ngon so dalen kila suwol kono tarinke. Kurango so da buka faaye sone ya. Di funding kele do ko soto. Lafta wolla gambe mo so fena no gambie alma alaye de mayka president wati nga niyo na al hakilo soto anala nga niyo soto ya kala de yela France interest le fena wal ala le go decide la bari amon sonko si amon kelo si amon fena si affaire mun di wolon ko ela agenda wa fi gambe no ya decide basana jumale bul ya di bola ni adi mola mi alon ko mai and I mean fa maka sanni lo sita ya bodo je modo ke ça simple as that.
Okay. Abaraka ila ya marlo beteata jannimbe afelembe mutakanjan, thank you so much. Mbe mutala little bit more akay demanding nkonte bulala mans bankola security na sulole mam me laftela opinion olo moyle ba ete fanga be banko kan nyim banko la lack of security ibe mina falan to leno woto
yalo mera nyum fala le kabrin 2017 yang arrest ko nkata nyame yalo politiko nga nkaminka we look at the trends ikata nyame nka anticipate be na kala banko kana nyame nda be insecurity and economic insecurity jara nola look inside you focus in la police for la army kan you equip them, you train them, your confidence that they can do the security. But there are many factors why security is taking place. Insecurity. Majaloko is established there is insecurity. Not only crime increased, but a diversified. When crimes make a sign, we'll find book before. No established, so that is a fact. So the next question is we have to look at the root causes. It has to do with socio-economic and demographic, but also operational. B, we have a very young population. 17 years is the median age. 41% unemployment in the beginning. 65% of the population are between 25 and 35. They need jobs, but don't come under caring. Added to that is rural-urban migration. Because na politico, so much so there are nothing in rural Gambia. No good hospitals, no good roads, no electricity, no water, no jobs, nothing. All these young people want to live a decent life. They come to urban Gambia to look for be 60% of our population live in urban Gambia. But urban Gambia is not made for 60% of our population. In fact, the sectors may get absorbed. Tourism sector is dead. Agriculture is dead because you might invest in agriculture, fertilizer, inputs, the rains were bad last year. International migration fund decreased. So, cost of living increased. Now, prison system a failed, criminal justice system, because we found contributor. Because the prison is supposed to rehabilitate. When you serve time as an offender in prison, you should come out as a better person and integrate easy. There should be institutions will be integrated into jobs and skills training. But you go into prison because you do 2-3 years in prison, you have criminal network, the prison you go back to crime. The mental health system failed. Okay, internally after Ebola. Most of these murders homicide it has to do with mental health. It's mental in America, Europe, near more far, it can be look at the state of mind. You understand? So once these institutions solely failed, the demographic, young people, population is increasing, no jobs and frustrated and deprived, and that's what inequality in Gambia. Inequality. Where there is inequality, there is crime. But also, look at the geopolitics of it. When Macky Sall rebellion continued in Casamance, there are Senegalese troops in Fonimiano that are stopping the Casamance rebels, making money from the war economy. They have access to small arms because it may be disarmed. And Gambia's borders are porous. They have to make money. So there are many factors they are at play, make insecurity in Gambia be. Until only we understand those root causes, we cannot find solutions to it, but also operational. The police are not well trained and well equipped. You see, we are dealing with crimes now, they are 21st century crimes. You need to prepare the police to deal with these crimes. But the police don't have communication gadgets. They cannot communicate. Among anything so not proper uniforms, not vehicles, not motorcycles. How can you prevent crime? And there are two issues there. You either prevent crime or you solve it. You mean prevent the call solve. They're not equipped and trained to prevent and solve certain crimes. And we need to invest money in internal security, invest money in public safety, invest money in policing, invest money in training of police officers, and in equipping them with the right tools, communications, cameras, so they can do their job, CCTVs. But once Wolman sort of, the operational aspect is failing. Socially, we have social ills, inequality, deprivation, unemployment, rural-urban migration. All these things are fertile ground for crime. And that is what is happening. Until only we have a strategy to fight crime in the 21st century by focusing on operations and also focusing on the social aspects of it, crime increases will increase and it will even get worse.
Mbina line oelela. I'll say Dr. Call nang ala la question will prepare. Number be duma ala screen or duma je +1 3 6 7 8. Boriela charge sambana. +1 niwe outside America. +1 6 7 8 39000539 alaji be screen o e dumala jang mba text la lena al prepare ali doctor nyinin ka question olla na e kacha alina information or share is very important. Afela nga text aliena on the side jang alin doctor se kacha okay nin doctor e kacha alin follow alin subscribe YouTube. Yeah, information I'll kind miss next Sunday. La Doctor Fela Muruntana. Doctor.
Yes.
Doctor economic fana me banko kam. Mbala nganda telephone prepare. Mol fan be call ke kan already. Ali hold on. Economic be banko kam. Muna ni economic tata be hello to la nyako maleba. O security ku kilimo. Hello? Okay. Abinakan.
Yalo economic mandate is economic cannot guarantee long-term security. Economic mandate is to protect certain installations, state house, airport, seaports, ferry terminals, and those things. Crime, economic to kelenola. Mandate and they're not even equipped to fight crime. They're not equipped to fight crime because crime, the crime you can't prevent it. You anticipate crime. Big government should have a database me along. It gives us real-time information as to crime cases can increase area Jumale and amantara area Jumale. For resource for deployment purposes. Let's say database in Joshua. Crime rates are increasing very fast. Then we have to know how to approach Joshua. That North Bank Mialong crime rates are not increasing there. But that database needs to exist. But there is no emergency service, there is no call operational center Mialong. You can call police 999 and they come to the scene. Security is very important. You cannot attract investors if you don't have security. We need to invest in security in Gambia, especially internal security, policing in particular. You understand? Immigration in particular. We have a lot of criminal tourists. They come to Gambia because our institutions are weak. Because law enforcement is weak. They come from other countries in West Africa. They come to Gambia because they get it free there. There's so much alcohol and drugs in that country, and it is easily accessible, especially drugs. These party drugs, ecstasy, cocaine is everywhere to be found, very cheap, you can buy. So a society, we have all these mixes, all this cocktail, youth unemployment, inequality, deprivation, frustration, rural-urban migration is increasing. A young population, a democracy, understand. And these are the aftershocks of a transition. You have to understand, we're also coming from a transition. That was supposed to be what they call transitional justice. To make sure we get right institutions to usher us into a democracy. The transition failed.
Yeah.
So we are very exposed and vulnerable. We live in a very fragile situation. Government needs to really step up, make sure we find this menace, otherwise they don't continue.
Okay. Doctor, Gambia no left a kachale. If a line out. Hello, caller.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Doctor Kamuel.
Kamuel back.
Okay. Kamuel lava.
Todi madu.
Tafion darabelo mo Italy.
Darabe birmintin dan Doctor Felasiri.
Aparaka baake mbebito fana konton na baake programo nyum bukante dang. Bedra isi la tembe mbe kweksono act la after ninga kweksono act so 1 minute because mbe call kan telephone men na mbe programo jibe ka wala after ngari connect pour nte ansanyin la moy. Okay na kweksono momenti wolom nyinti ko Dr. Ceesay meta follow la bakele before CA ngalo ne ko political party mel bebe Gambia kono nu ay doy la policy ayole embrace before CA laftalon na al ka potential de kamim fo aje ko jale asabu Gambia le asabu political party be jele fu pare ade na policy embrace why ala political party form ka join wol kan ka political party ni anala idea nyin ka adu wala idea nyin kan pour ka banko nyin fali alin so wan mit le bi fa be njabila ala baraka.
Okay, abaraka. Doctor. Doctor, hold on. Akonga abatu do mandinga I muru fenko to janni ba jabila. Line obele ringali ele +1. Okay. nga kola do ta pour janni ba te jinkane ya hello kola
Allo, assalamu alaikum.
ila background o talanyen kam fam moy jele
Allo, assalamu alaikum.
wa alaikum salam to di madu
Sister, Lamin Touré la inimbala.
Touré bir mintina nin docteur le bijam
Ha, Dr. Ceesay inimbara bake.
Ikan ulindi demande.
Ha, Dr. Ceesay kafule Dr. Ceesay inimbara bake.
Touré kundan ko be kontona.
Ha, okay, nte nga question killing soto. Okay, for Dr. Ceesay. Comme nantara ala ye tol dema ni tol keta president oti Gambia comme ye government soto. Okay, especially Dr. Ceesay. Because ate mo moleti comme aware ta drug environment lale and drug wall. Okay, donc allegation ol fanambe keri neko adananta bula drug wall konole. So akamta te drug wall na yalo ne munen drug ti yalo na kana flow min di yalo na katinyaro ni ke ayabe lonje. He's totally aware. Okay, so sa ni tol nata in power. It will be contribute la pour stop for it will ask they are aware of the benefit and the destruction of drugs.
Okay.
For it will munebe kele to last stanti.
Okay.
And let him give us honest answers.
Okay. Thank you. Doctor.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Lafta yung question flow belara sa mari plug a login tala ako bawo PDOS. Ako bawo PDOS biring well before 5 la party lola. Ye party ol be kono ye PDOS la policy your support num back. Ako instead of ye party lo muna name and join PDOS. So second one on ning.
Second one mo like for the PDOS thing. Na policy policy man killing.
Okay.
Obviously, before we form our party, we'll window shop and look at every other party's policies. Man fund any party killing a policy.
Hold on.
So now that no fund the policy the policies are the same. There is no need because policy is about policy about delivery. And also other factors may go for consist politics. It's not only also about policy, but other issues. Internal democracy is also important. So in terms of ideological line, we're in the same spectrum.
Okay.
Ideologically. Secondly, na policies killing and that will become clear more for political debate sort of debate wala la ko policy farala. Right now you cannot go into the nitty-gritty because the policy killing. We might have the same policy in education, for example. But differ totally in agriculture and other sectors. So there is no policy alignment between Tol and Doi. Mianoko is overacting to the extent we need to join together some part. No, we are very different policy-wise. We are very different ideological-wise. Yes, we share some sectors. There is some resemblance in policy, but overall, we are very different policy-wise. We are very different ideologically in terms of how we approach policy, and that will become clear in presidential debate sita. From there, then more balonako, ninga called maabe kese balonako difference between.
Okay.
So that is one, the first question. The second question, the two guys insinuating ko, ntonga drop colon, ntamala gonna muntola, ntamankulo water. So I file a question on reframe. Then I can answer his question. But I question on Ninkanyame, it seems like making a statement. Mealonko is not the reality. So I cannot
ma understand either. I love to follow the bang for you droko mimbe bankoka you la ko kalamtala or you learn about drugs for drug. I don't know, but anyway.
I got a question on reframe. Now reframe.
Yeah.
I a question on answer.
Okay. Doc mbatuma nyinkola dochika. Kola.
Hello, Sister Binto.
Ila background o talanya wala na ngela telephone mute no ndomani. Todi madu.
Ismaila Ceesay from Italy.
Sawane ibirimintinda Dr. Fel.
Yeah, ne Dr. Kontom back ne falan Kontom programu betata back. Love the doctor in Karamina. Present situation of Banco Kanyaming, tell a mirror and analysis. Mamira party killing si Adama boiling up. as a president's incumbency. Saying, for example, CA, Foitel ni model be alliance kala coalition ke, for example, GDC or UDP, because presently nalong konyilmu political ballot adu support base or presently mbe mawa kande jube ga be jara so bari momin interest too much. Do ntela observation of political party show nyili fo be den wala ye kafu nyoma bang ye coalition ke ba minne min sitano nyola bari ni koy be bité fire drone obe kolala lafta do kanyinin kala wala what is his stand so that
okay thank you I'm very quick manta call jama tala
Bintu sorry
na
ara baro bondi president yalla always an easy thing woman call yalla yalla mo na call yalla ma replace la jumal la 2016 nga di same mistake like
okay
coalition jamati dano anga coalition nga bondi dibe nga fa min ko wala ko karga jam ka baro bondi always easy bari ma replace la minna wala kolyata anolon ton la focus it's not only to remove baro we don't want ninga baro bondi nga modo ko dem yalla ko the same thing o man na faso secondly mol ka fo baro be kolya baro de kolya la pum ka baro bondi dulano baro man fene Gambia baro tani election o win nola you understand? And the crowd more coming the legally crowd more kana more nene. Until we are on the ground on a daily basis, we know what's happening there. So crowd ni kan mo wala ke man kay what cannot be engaged.
Okay.
For even mo nekera at election day. On
okay. Alimbat. Okay. Dr. Fela Eman Tankoto. Abinala. Alama kurang karatao. Hello, caller.
No, Quran de Dala, Bintu, near Konto, Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Aka ko Quran man tan Dr. Kotoko, Dr. Fintambulle Jeninje. Alakao ke. Alembe mo metili. Caller, I'll hold on. Caller, ite seta phone, me question all safela.
Yeah, mbe Konto no Bintu, ila mole mo alasana Istanbul, Toki Bangoga. Mbela bindan Konto.
Bismillah.
Mbe lamolal be Kontona. Mbe e Kontona do kubunda to albe kata ko menna ebe wakata ko menna alhamdulillah mbe ton do jay bagale.
Bismillah
Yo ila lundawni bito mba Kontona mba tendula bari bito membi je pro atebe jigiri menna. Avec quoi les demander yalo président la bondo agenda bale ba bondo pour ka bondo de andu mantara wotiloto ka fo coalition yedden pa ka fo ka président bondi nte mantara wotiloto ba sayni parti molete sonna pour ka okay katu ni woketa wole be garawula ni coalition
okay
because money atina President Barrow man kujaw ke mosa fo ali den coalition ali abonde aman jawma ke aman tanake aman problem ke so member tinna ka fo ko afka coalition form pour ka bondi dalilu le tarlaja so ni wo dalilo man traje o bondo no jomale be sonna pour ka den coalition pour ka bondi.
Okay, thank you Alasan. Thank
you.
So
nge ko nge ton nge jay ala baraka inshallah.
Okay, thank you. Mbat Alimbat. Ikon na wek le tata. So na wek de ni wo tata de maybe inte doctor sotola no kotek. Abe fero do lu file al nga time de la mballa question ol tala ngani nga at least 3 question. Ninga ol ta nge ma ba. Alin share. Alin na information or share please. Kacha kumayata kanya ya ntol ka real issues ol la kacha. You know, you know fito wante real issues. Assalamu alaikum. Kola?
Alaikum.
Kola, todi ma di birmintina.
Hello. Ntolam Lamin Jaju.
Lamin Jaju ibirmintina.
System be tankla ba mba fele programme betere programme tiata.
Bismillah.
Baraka bake Dr. Panang aradia mo yin kumaya tabaka. Antelo fa yin karo min kala dorong. walam Gambian opposition party sol mbeje sainte milbe Gambian political follow kan ntorialo na milbe bantay an milbe Gambia jema yalo na banko kata nyame daga kole are mbakel o situation kata nyama dimita Gambia kole are banko Gambia dan kan mbakel so nte minje munata opposition party sol walam GDC UDP PDOS and Dr. Ismaila Ceesay this CA party muna ite keno la one party for the interest of the country Gambia somebody
so you look you ite be anyinin ka muna ne tolta kavlano as a coalition
as a coalition as Gambia interest gibe because Gambia da na tarita bakel
okay thank you Lami
thank you okay
yeah wait doctor
yes muruna na ko
so ndebe tolbe me call take ko male doctor birita do bib ki jolo fa faramba fa way temba bay na wek tata okay doctor nga kola dos receive ko ma jabe moroko le ka fay lam ni jaju ako munatina atolte coalition ako GD atol CA GDC ako GDC aning UDP alse kafu ali fenka coalition lord bari nga call dota nga call dota falta kafulano assalamu alaikum
hello Binta yes I'm very happy getting speaking to you for the first time, and I'm greeting my dad husband Dr. Ceesay. It's me Say Ture.
Say yes. You are welcome.
Hello.
I'm so glad you called too. We have Dr. You say your husband, Dr. Ceesay is right here.
Yes, she is my wife.
My first husband. Yes. Yeah, I just wanted to ask Dr. Ceesay when it comes to people living with additional needs and also with children with special needs. Because many times I do listen to the politics and Gambia politics, and I do follow a lot. So, but I still, me being a parent of a child with special needs, I feel like we're just so let down by many politicians because we don't get to, we are not part of the story. We are not part of the story when they stand on the podiums to highlight the needs of, Gambian citizens. And I just feel like they cannot discount us in the political discourse. I think that we have to see ourselves in the Gambian politics to follow politicians, especially CA, and me being a parent of a child with special needs, I want to understand what CA stance is when it comes to my child's life, when it comes to me as, what support parents of special needs will receive, or how, they I don't know, in their government, what CA's government would mean to us. So that's just what I wanted to ask.
Say thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
He will reply to you.
Right now. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Bye-bye.
Go ahead, Ceesay.
Thank you, Say. Thanks for that very brilliant question. I think children with special needs is close to our heart. Even though we don't have the chance to talk about it publicly because we never had the chance during interviews for journalists or ask us about our view on that. But this is that is why, in fact, if you look at SCA, we're about to publish very soon, unveil our new cabinet portfolios that SCA government will administer when we come to power. We are going to scrap the current ministries. We think some of them are not fit for purpose, that they are not in line with today's complex problems, and they cannot also solve future problems. So we are going to come with brand new ministries that we think can solve today's problems, but also anticipate tomorrow's problems and start finding solutions to them. One of the ministries has to do with children with special needs, a special ministry that has to focus on social care. And we think this is important. We are going to invest money into that sector because every child, like I said at the beginning, every child has a right to equal opportunity. Every child has a right to a good start, whether you are from a poor family, whether you are from rural Gambia, urban Gambia, whether you are disabled or not, you have to get a right to a good start. We need to equip our schools with teaching aid materials so every child can have access to quality education, whether they are disabled or not. This is something close to our heart. We are going to revamp social care. We are going to come up with social safety nets to make sure, because parents who really have children with special needs are poorer in Gambia, because they cannot work, they cannot have livelihoods, and they have forced to stay at home to take care of their kids with no support from the government. We're going to come up with a scheme which is going to focus on those parents and make sure that they get extra support, financial support, obviously, but also moral support from the government to ensure that every child with special needs gets that extra support, so that he or she can have an equal start in life with other children with no special. But also their parents are also compensated for the time they spend in taking care of, but today they're not paid for that. Even though yes, there is their parents, but the state also has to take some responsibility. So we have, if you read our manifesto, it's focused that we touched it on it there, but a special ministry will be dedicated, and a special child commissioner, a commissioner for children, especially with special needs, to make sure that we invest in those people and they get the right support and they get a safety net system which ensures that not they safe at home, they have access to good education, they have access to everything other children also get support in form of cash transfers.
And public transportation for special needs. That would be important.
10-point plan is to build a comprehensive public transportation system using the 3 R's, river, run, but also, like I said, access is key for children with special needs. If I say education, it means access even to not only within the school building, to access the building, but even access to mobility. It's called mobility. We are going to provide, that is why we are going to invest. We are going to get people like say will have to come and help us. They are the ones who've been working with this and understanding properly how to shape and make sure that that is why we are going to draw from a lot of expertise from the diaspora, because most of these problems are very prevalent in the diaspora in mostly in developed countries, and they have solutions. They've been living with this and they know how it works. We're going to draw from expertise from people like say to come and really design that for us to ensure that access is key for them to move from one place to place, because it is very stressful and unfair for a child to be forced to stay at home because he or she is a special needs child.
Yes.
They need access to transportation, they need access to go to school. When they're at school, we need to even train our teachers, the pedagogical aspect of it, train teachers to deal with children with special needs. Even though Gambia College does it, we need to revamp it and expand it and enhance so that teachers know how to deal with children with space, so that they are safe in the schools, they are safe in the communities, they are safe in the house, and they have the support they need that can be given to them by the state, and that parents also have that support.
Yeah, we really appreciate Say's call. Binto Bantaba here, we always talk about them too. The special needs, especially when we have different political parties debating. So, Doc, can I take 2 more calls? Just 2 more calls.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Hello, Italy calling Kenunam before, right?
Okay,
clarify
sorry,
your question.
May insist come because it's very important. So let me just make it short. I just want to know Ela's stand when it comes to drug.
Okay.
Ela's stand when it comes to drug. Let me just make it short like that, and please, I honest answer the more.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Another clarify.
Well, I think that's very clear. Zero tolerance on drugs. Drugs destroy societies. It destroys the economy. It destroys the social fabric of our society. But that is why at the beginning, we are going to invest in policing internal security. We are going to invest in law enforcement, but also invest in multilateral law enforcement by working with our partners across, because most of these drug cases are transnational. Drug is a transnational crime now. It's not produced in Gambia. It's produced outside, and Gambia is used now as a transit point to distribute this as a distribution point. So we are going to work within the context of the West ECOWAS policing, with the Senegambian police, Senegalese police, Malian police, and ECOWAS police, to make sure that we also have to enhance and enforce and empower our law enforcement, especially the league, Drug Enforcement Agency. We are going to invest in, we are going to provide more training for drug law enforcement agency. We are going to provide them with more equipment so they can able to track and trace drug and also be able to prevent drug crime. We take that very seriously because I learn how it can destroy our people. Banco most of the banco dingol. They are productive citizens. Nin drug se woltinya, itala banco katinya. It also destroys the economy. So drugs something we have a zero policy, zero tolerance policy on drugs. We are going to equip our immigration, equip law enforcement to ensure that drugs don't enter our country, but also they are found wanting, they get the heavy punishment. Currently, what we are seeing is that is impunity. After the bust, after the investigation, What will not happen in a CA government? We are going to fight drugs. We are going to take it very seriously. We are going to work with international partners within the context of Interpol. We are also going to work with the new system called the West African Police Information System. It is set up to track criminals within the system. So we are very serious about drugs. And I can assure Mr. Tureko, Nintol Sita will fight drugs hard.
Okay, Doc, we have one more caller. That's it. I will let you. Hello, caller.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Todi Madu.
Mohamed Lamin Jete.
Jete Brimintina.
Okay, mal kontona.
Bismillah.
Programo diata kumata. Be Ismaila kontona. Ala kilo watra kilo ala kumaka ala sinati betat. Lafta ngini kala kuma like ni ala di mafala masukunda sita. Akome ni ajubentella janja muri mafana siarar. Na sedula jama sutu je mealon ka siata men kam da jakal patare woldo. Okay, but be right now will be fatale fende wo ka wor. Okay, anu ni ajubentella meero Gambia. Seno nyanda makwela. So nga be ni nga nyalo seno gang. Menka munda mano na balunya monyan kole ala baken tela mirea. Okay, wudlo ala jiso be jele melo ga jio ka minno la jio diata. Faro fele jio fele barbi wol be fatale. Okay, na question of fulanja. Comme nada sida Gambia kaito jumal la nyata sutula nin jumal le manyanda sutula comme lunta la karola. Because hantu babudu jante ni mo jamal le benda ngale manga Gambia dingo de bar Gambia passport le be bulo kono. So ni ajibe wo balafa wata bakel. Ni mo benda ko nyeko Gambia kaito kamandal ko mburo kamunda ka sampiti ko to nyamenda wolun kam fatal de. Ako jende boda Senegal le bari na passeport Italian police oli ya tambule sa en ko male Gambia passeport do ko ne ka kinan sa en ka wol use was very sad. So banko la kayto find the kilo nyala fa mo nyala kilo nyaba wala mun ngin kara fulan yaade so mbal konto na mbal tel mbal
abarak okay, thank you. Call us all la
baraka ko be nyame banko la kayto akumada bake wala banko nim banko starta fo ala banko kayto la integrity ay loose strong. Banko fon kala integrity loose. E kam wala binda.
Ha nkemo.
Binda bijela.
Ha mbija. Ibu kam moy.
Nim banko ala kayto ala integrity loose aka banko kala fo mo ben loose mo ka respect ko tenke. Wala na banko dingol kapata ni be tamola biko nin gambe partenaire boni dawda drong. Ikeke karala le because galo ne ko nyin kayto mu kulti mi alon ko tele tapale siata jele. Tol la promise nga mindi galon ko abe 10 point promise rolon ko we are going to build a population database momo wuta Gambia lungu mene wuluta mbeke la system ko nale ito e kontongo ela biometrics abe system ko nale eni wala ka kebaya ela l'hôpital ne docteur Jumal leje ikara school nursery school Jumale era primary school Jumale sasa Jumale mo abe ta so wala with a click will see ko italon Jumate model ID sunyanola. So we are going to apply technology to make sure identity theft stop. And then in those days, it was easy to put a European passport from no, don't cast no from other countries. But very biometric technology applies very difficult sign. So we are going to safeguard that can make sure we build an immigration system well equipped with the right technology. Kajeko wo kadi sunya de kenola and corruption because corruption is not only government, even the diplomatic passport be among the defendant. Ini more ka benem emanka diplomatic be ka diplomatic passport also. So we need to make sure no base stop nga kero nga I safe nga immigration equip nga train nga joko di kendo la pula doko keno kaje ko na passport is a model task by using technology kaje gambe de wuluta you are in the system and everything is there. So kadi aton difang kadi sunya de keno la ninka gambe passport ra kadi moko den la. Now the question about farming ko nga fo nyamendro. Gambia bee farming is one of the key drivers, should be one of the key drivers of our economy. Sector saba, me alon ko nyandaka di focus wala. Tourism, agriculture, and education. Agriculture is key because banko ni me fan fit no ikatara problem wala kono alon bi wala be kering Gambia. Bin tol kami ngom min domo. Akabona bantale. 19% only of our rice needs and Kawale grow Gambia. It is not enough. We have enough water. Ndo samadio minka jininka save the bonka kono samadio nka mabo. Nka ke irrigation ki. Na surface water. River Gambia has some side on salt water. Na banko duma jode banda Gambia. The most important is to bring the right people, to bring the right investors, even Gambian investors. Be it na invest in the agri sector. There is enough land in Sierra. What government needs to do is to create the enabling environment as a young investor. We give you land, we give you tax break, we employ young Gambians, we give them the right training. Kajeko Gambia B agriculture tata santole. That is the only thing we can do as a government. Government cannot engage in farming itself. Government has other stuff to do. But what government can do is to ensure we attract the right investors, especially Gambian investors like Nimim from Obediamo Kantimanka, but a Sierra, then a Sierra long. And now, a project community. What we can do as government is to give you access to finance, access to land, tax breaks. Kajako, I used to employ agriculture now support the Kajako Gambia Nyadon Sim from feed no. Not the work Sierra, they work Funi, another youth man okay Basse. At least before you know what's happening. We have a lot of industries in Gambia, a lot of manufacturing plants. Look at the value addition there. Ninna rakateka tamati nindu to grow in Sierra. It is never catch up name juice in that Sierra. Na farm sort of Sierra, na factory sort of day, young people will be employed and the economy will grow. But until and unless we have the right strategy, how to approach it, and the serious people, Banco Tranyado, being in project no far kana Gambia, Molke Kele because what project at the Nafara. So first Banco no Semyanko Banco Canole, ye Banco la Nato Talege. Then near project of finance support, access dealer to cars, however that might happen. We'll give you access to land. We support you. You become an entrepreneur. You use soul trade, they become farmers. Then obviously, we'll let Banco Samano.
Doctor, nga kachani nkaro kenonjang. The last time nga Senegal la ko kachalano nga hot pursuit nga kachanu barsai left a video le ronne Honorable Ibrahim Sile to Jinkamina. So ngana see as a government, what will they do differently? Because nkombe bulala barmol konkana okay. For I have to let you see this video. It's just a 3-minute video. So just 1 second na ngaple. Alim balal ngaple very quick pour Dr. Fonye.
Tolling Senegal nga luale signé kaje ko. Nim moye kuriake anim borro botana Senegal adunta Gambia. Ila soldier role ni la police role wala la security forces ni ba bindi kay se dun no janne ya muta yaje now ntol fana wo nyam han ñin lokum fula tambila Gambian police because alon ka moy le ka bako ntol la mol bi ka anyim ma ñake police role Senegal ko Senegal soldier role da malaka dun nan jang kanyin arrest bar wonte to ñati ntol la mol ñin 2 weeks ago Gambian police force itatale idunta Senegal 2 weeks ago ya Senegal duma muta mi yalon ka kuri yala ke jang ya bandi fo Senegal ya muta je nata ya sambana ya fele ya muta ba samba kan citi yala yaji so ñu banku fulo wo arrangement sign ne so nimbi ya kuri ya ke ya mira control be protect la kata mo la banko kan ikela yurol kuntu ikela wulol tinya ikata tilimbali ya ke ikana bor ñim banko kanja ikanyim motolta ikela motote ka dundi je ni luwati nya fangale wo luwati nya mol mantala le kan wala afo yiru kuntu la le ko ya tara luwa koma afo e luwa bunya ye fata kadu wanti bankol kan kata ka yuro kuntu je wala ka criminal ma koy ke aid and abet kanana ka fo ko be dunda ñim banko kanje ni wo lut pour yalon ko pour tiaje ko man sakunda e ma koy wala le kam bam fara wulen ken takela.
Okay, but ñi loi explaining ñe demanding ñi wala hot pursuit I explaining it because ma fahamba ke dol ma faham mina ñi hot pursuit
loi ñi wala hot pursuit wala ñi ko ni kuriya ke Senegal andu Senegal man sakunda la mol security forces sol sobite la ko ye kuriya le ke andu ikoy ko lo wala man sol lo lay ñum boro dunta ñum banko kanjang ise bayndi nole wala ni sobite la ko drogole be bulu wala bende be bulu mi yalon ka ni lu ala silo manta ya ande tri lu atinya ko banko ke kuri ala ko banko to la banko kan ini boros nale ye bayndi ni dunta ni man sonna lole yena frontiere kuntu isinai bandi nono na fa Gambia ye muta ye samba Senegal andun tol fana the same thing ni aka yim banko kan jang hanna tare mu Senegal dingolti ini mboro dunda Senegal se bandi ye muta je ngana ye samba nan ko last 2 weeks na police oli aka nyami nyimol min ya Senegal dingo mi yalon kay kuriya ka Gambia banko kan jang ay wo kuriya fi nat nga muta nga samba nan nga andi fele ba iba samba kan luwal nyati lo wakete jande
but say ni tol dunta nan banko kan wo agreement o kono ise kido kumandi no ba because yake umortol ka kido mala fonyo kon is okay no
ya lo niaje yo kido mala no tanga minje video to wala min ko they wanted to disperse the crowd
okay
yaje they wanted to disperse the crowd and in security there is what we call crowd control mechanisms
okay doctor Dr. Ceesay ni minister of imantara moy kanno
the only thing moy ako ne kuriya ke Senegal yi bande me mutano se dunno Gambia ne taraje abu ko wala moy
okay so mbe min kala doron mbe ni video kile another time ni nata nsa replay ako ni tada hot pursuing ni tada Senegal ye kuriya ke nanje ni nata be borana ye ngani nin ka dame ye kido kumanti umortole ka biri nata ka timbal ning baga ni yirol tamba mbala ye yirol table ye lefta yirol table ye yiro ye kido kumandi jel so wala na de quality Senegalese fanan kam binding am fokono to e kana ka kido ako what that was just a dispass it lefta group ole janjal
no ya long hot pursuit international law I think it's even I think it's customary international law nimanyina because international law are different sources international bari hot pursuit ka work nyame wolonko but among customary in fact fanko la ton di treaty law banko le kafre da bangol tema ko bi niatara été crime commit Senegal kono as Gambia wala as Senegalese ibota Senegalese force law enforcement bandi fo border to iman reaction ka dum Gambia you have to stop there Gambia law enforcement inanda ka wole inform wole ni bendum border to ini wole du nyola yata hot pursuit ninka
okay
wole naka access dila iman any reaction to enter our jurisdiction without any. So Baron I came in sign, all of what is and Kadila Kona they can enter without that permission. Baron I hot pursuit are enhanced to another level. But normally international law folonko near band the federal border they have no right to enter except law enforcement engage wole na escort konoto to go and look for that person. It arrest no la fund them law enforcement arrest ya hand over to Lena Murukotenge. That is international law. I think it's a treaty. But if Baroya enhanced the sign, these guys can even enter our jurisdiction without even getting any permission or any consent from law enforcement, and that is the sad part of it.
Okay.
Even though it is mutual, Gambia Fanasake no, but Gambia will never do it. So the Senegalese are gaining more from this hot pursuit deal than Toll. But nowhere in the world that happens. Nowhere in the world. If it's a treaty, la sign. You stop there. Law enforcement you don't even have to go with even any code form any kido form because it violates sovereignty. Every country is sovereign. That is a sovereignty. Every state has sovereign jurisdiction in a territory. No other country should violate that sovereignty except Nita Sembodila, Borodio Sembodi Senegalella through the hot pursuit treaty. You can enter anyhow you want and leave anyhow with even weapons without any problems. Wouldn't was a mistake me along Gambia sign le the manyanaka sign. Hot pursuit akakele bankol kakele. Anyana kata minolonko the normal hot pursuit ko. When yemo benefit for a border to yeloje ya namol contact na molena ya escort konoto ya marriage na molia arrest ya handover in amuro. But even that sometimes it has to do with extradition cases. Ite mobe murunola. In some cases Gambia safono kono nying we have to get a legal order for extradite. Ntali handover like that because whether he'll get a right to a fair trial, whether ala rights alta violate la check la. So these things are very complex international law from Colombia along province me along Gambia is very careful. But tonga mi golonga blanket hot pursuit ngoli di Senegal la sign. They can come in anytime and leave with their weapons and this is bad for our security because it is causing discontent among our security officers. Abuko berete mot mano dieta ta eke wot mano wandi korda kono. Yeta ni mode katare ka kanna ya sudo ka ya gadi min emo bandi ya ka findi na wot mano fenkela. Ela wot mano be fila ngale abi fila ko jutala jutala and woman betia. So it was a very bad mistake me alon ko ya sign. It was a very bad deal me alon ko ya sign. And inanda katale ya reverse ko tenke ake deal ki me alon ko it is mutually beneficial and also it respects the territorial sovereignty of each and every state me alon ko involved again.
Wow. No, we cannot have enough. Guy baris nebula. Mancho is sort of a nebula. Time Jamal spending fair. May invite la another time, but open line nekela mol family near Kachanis and sono ilo time la in future. Yeah, man. So Laftela final advice lady, Janim Bebula. We really appreciate this.
Advice for Toronto alone. Nga kankelinti nga nyo bunya nga nyo horoma nga banko kanu nga karo sabati gambe banko ka woro na bedi bi kanyi wuro min beke bi nin karo wan sabati aman na faso isi banko nyini nyanya ni adile e banko ta mi alon karo de yela president aman na faso e do ko ken so don kala banko nyini fitino kono nga banko nyini karo kono anim bunya ni horomo kono ni mole kata bunya ni horomo kono nga nyo respect nga nyo la nyanto dila nga kambe nga kelinde banko mi alon ko kambe ngo mantaraje e kam me harmony within the country unity o banko te move la at all hanna ta mu presidency vale fena de banko samanola because nyokelo diamole we sala ni nyokelo woro kambe ngo kumata len tol gambe nga nyomota nga nyokano nga nyokaja fobola nga nyotinya bola politiko bunda ba politiko nga taraja nanu bato la janne anon bi sitara different patriol to nga nyone nga nyokali sama ndingo la saka futu mona malo manna because some mal min binakela wodo nga nyo bunya nga nyo horma politiko kono nga politiko ke bari bunya kono nga ideal wafi nga agenda wafi mbenni nit ñi nekela nga danje bari kanyo nen kanyo kajafi kanyo komo fo ite manke banku dingol o beka banko tinyale to wonna tinyata tenne ani banku ko tennol ni nga start ka fo ñim manke forenal teng ndo wawol forenal ndo sanjel be lebrin tuwawdul nyata tuwawdul fanan kam fore ate banna. So nanta ka be very careful nga banko kano nga nyo horoma nga nyo bunya nga nyo la nyanto di nyola nga kero sabati ni gambe mo nga kambe isade momo mi alon ale wala ke president 2021 amari se banko do kono meyo ketale sai kabri 1965 binto man ta do la na mol batare kabri 65 na mol batare e man gisena ngo soto e man kura ngo soto e hanisa ke la di bole kono ndingol hanisa ka karamo e kastod di bole kono mama tota di bokono famali ake sa hani sandingol ba study kan di bokono na moma jise na ngoso do kabri 1965 na moni sasa ta ka fale fending sefa Gambia atere manya na ka fafa because mo na hel gas from beria moma safe ko tenke e fanga so kono sina tare je rip wala yefa e finti bande man safe silo man betia sama fala kana poto ka sale foni fota be ka marché do and ye manke fongo fene fanam ke dandol sada danote demand di mano soto e kata musol tara Westfield anen ton table musol e dingo mota dinani suta ba sada danola dingo mela ngene kata silo kras kusam abe sada danola mol barna Gambia fongo fe mantara tamaka mol divopta mol jikela teta kabri 1965 wado man soto ko denga bankol be endang Rwanda nyol Senegal nyol bisa fambe mo tankane Cape Verde li be endang mbetara de wuro drom Sonko drum, nyo nengo drum, nyo kaja fo drum. Man focus on be banko sambala nyameng. Bari jumale ba sambala. Ando debate nanda ke be banko sambala nyadile. Mena problemo solve la nyadile. Na health sector ba solve fo mo Gambia. Ni sasa re ese fan jar te manta dula jang. Na musol se wulu sutro kono, kairo kono. Ani bunya kon asat etikala saredo kay ka wulu saredo kan. Na alpha mi pensonta, e la pension ya ye na fa. Esaje do ko meka Gambia del waso kala foy fay sala isi fala fanu korla ko dimbal di be kala mun ken dolla na mole jik sena ngo soto mi ita kolon jio minna na fonni kele do ko sore data campel atami ngol be frusteli kay ba ko tele be fam fale kata tuwa budu bu benyara ka ban Gambia la sa mbo kala nyaay wolon na problème bar min fanan kana wolon ko iko 2050 mita 5 million people ko banko do ko nyana commencer sañle e be sulal do ko jelle la mi sulal lopitan jelle la musula mo sila sifalella musula mo karam mo sifani karam mo jelella wo do ko nyata commencer sagnle ni wonde 2050 be silale we are 5 million people man fan nafa fe ngo fenna sonko continue ko tenke rek nyokaje fo continue ko tenke ndingole continue kata ba kuela ndingole continue ka story kandio kono karam mo de correct la l'hôpital de correct la diamo sia ko kute kala it's high time nga si ngam fan jube control gambia nol fodon diamo kabrim mbakam fo sagne ay sambanya faman sambanya so wara sidale say nga banko nyato ta jube nga kambe nga nyomota nga unity keke nga ket kelenti nga nyokano nga nyo bunya nga nyo horoma nga diam gambe dingon to politician ol nga diam gambe nga si fatan fan sota nga fay banta nga diam gambe dingole nga fay ko gambia sa ñonon agenda ti ñonon di fenko di master plan ka gambia sa manyato mi dira master plan fenam dira agenda fenam mole nga ngajo ko aya bala fa soto aya ngani soto aya hino soto nga na carte di o mayila nga change la 5 years ay banko na ma do ko nga boni nga modo ko di sa simple as that benna ko fala wolto
abaraka doctor mbe muronde la nan ka tu molbe line out hani sa en ko yeje ila fteni nin kala question so thank you so much ngi appreciate ba sa mbe bulala abaraka doctor yeah haya kata doctor ya kata kacha beteyat ngal tentu ngal jeyi Dr. Ceesay CA Citizens Alliance butuo binto banta ba network nka mol sambana ne na kachanye ni be denga kachak ali call kenan ali text kenan ali mbenga participate banku do kola voter registration mba follow one more time alta ali register nyin kola min be ka fojam ni tamela president soto ila right candidate soto nte improve la de so alta la cartel nyini ali dungal la boxol kono suturo kono ali akeje nga jam fa fitinola Dr. Ceesay fela ya marodi al nga nyo kaja fobula al nga nyo nengo bula political democracy la alin kana asamba o route la mambetea ndingol mamaringol ibe na tariko tale be continue la andal atebetea mbela silo min dada is not good nyo nengo ninga momo sambana nja mari ko ya maroledi so anyanta kelantol fanan na sulolet mbe say Ture, thank you for calling. Thank you. I kachamin kejang special need. Si special need mol mini alon ko la njurundingol soto. Man satellite balu kudol kela. O matine man smart, o matine buka move no. Bare ila capability le man equal. Special need lafta wale folali. Na capability nyine man equal. But mansakunda nat ntenyina lela ntolo binto bantaba network janka ko kacha bakel ba on te famu balet so nka ko kacha bakel andu me continental ka kacha sefango call kenan janka itandi ko atedingo is part of wo fana la njurundingo sotola so nga tentu nga jayi atol kola sola le question me doctor trial nga murundina anatol gambiano le kacha alla question nga be ko hormone mbunyat Mbalu bulala for next Sunday. Aliyana nanga kacha. Yes. Ngal kanule Doctor ya kata kutukato la. Aya hajo betu janata neng amanjutun na amang akombat nale tasi ni etasi nga kacha. Beten tulambeja ila Ceesay. Thank you. Alimbatu ngatanda jalinoma alimbatu alkana borin koto mbalje kalbe mankan koto alkana yeman alnga jalila moy an salma fa jalev nsolata do ko min net kachabe teata bankoto kachabe teata kachabe teata mina albulala ala baraka altar register
yaro yina falomodi
Alta register. Thank you. Call us all Bembal Tentulambali. Thank you. Ture Baraka. Thank you for participation. Sanko, Allah Baraka. Ba, Baraka. Allah Baraka. Next Sunday. Thank you. Say Jerejef. Sa auto be back na tarap. Your call is very important to us. Thank you. Allah Baraka. I'll let you all go till next Sunday. The real issue sol le kashala jam. Into bantaba wolum tolla route. Allah Baraka. Allah Baraka.